Arrogant fear causes us to say that this will happen or this won't happen. That's why the Bible says over 350 plus times, do not fear. What's God saying to Barney? He's saying, do not arrogantly assume you know what's going to happen. And today, he wants to speak to you. He wants to get to you. Because if you're wanting what I want, which is for God to bless us, then we've got to get rid of this arrogant fear in our heart and life. And so, please remember this before we read our text. We make fear noble by separating it from its source. I've talked to some of you about your fear because I could sense it because I struggle with it so much more. And you say, well, Randy, I'm fearful because I'm a realist. You say, Randy, I'm fearful because I love so much. I just love so much, even though the Bible says love and fear can't stay in the same heart. You say, Randy, I'm fearful because I'm experienced. I'm such and such. I know what happens to people. But here's the thing. You may lie to yourself and convince yourself that you're afraid for good reasons, but God's not buying it. Notice what Jesus says in Matthew 8:26. It says, Jesus responded, why are you afraid? You have so little faith. You may say that your fear comes from realism. God says your fear comes from sin. You may say your fear comes from love. God says no, your fear comes from sin. That's why he's so hard on the fearful. By the way, some of you have been trying for years to stop being afraid, to stop being anxious. Are you seeing now why you haven't stopped? Because you say that your fear is good, and you're doing what the Bible says is evil. You're calling good evil and evil good. And when you make excuses for your fear, Mom, when you sit there and say, well, I've got good reason to be afraid for the safety of my children. I've got good reason to be that. You are calling evil good, and God is not going to bless you. And guess what? You will never beat your fear until you start saying that it's evil and that it's wicked.